Hello, folks. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers. This is my second report of the day. As you can hear, I'm a little bit hoarse, but I hope you're having a great day. Excuse me. Today, we need to talk about some updates on some of the different events that are going on around the world. The banks have been keeping the price of silver low and are trying to control whatever metals prices they can. They're trying to put the kibosh on cryptocurrencies, but I don't think that's going to work too well for them because of the fact that the days of the banks having much control over anything is quickly coming to an end. I've predicted this month that at least two of the major banks here in the U.S. will probably go down, but I also believe that there are going to be several other banks in other parts of the world that also go down. And just as I made that prediction at the end of February, I think it was March 1st, a major bank in China went down. So we are seeing the beginnings of the absolute drop-off. The central banking system throughout the world has been in control of the monetary system. And the problem is now that they are all in the process of losing their shirts. One of the big problems that they had, and it was kind of ignorant really, and I hate to say it that way, but it's true, they were trying to control the prices of the metals, and they managed to do it to a certain extent for several years, in fact decades. The problem, though, that they wound up having was the fact that they overdid it. And by the time they got to the point where they had made so many contracts that they had several times the amount of silver that's in existence, that's kind of what is killing them now, is the fact that they have to pay off all of these contracts. But they're not going to be paying off those contracts at $25 or $30 an ounce. They're going to be paying them off at $70, $80, $90 an ounce. One of the things that they've been doing to try to control is they've been moving those contracts around, trying to use that in a way to control the prices. Unfortunately, and we've seen it, the silver price is becoming discombobulated, and various countries and various markets have various prices. And then when you see the companies out there that create the coins and they get ready to release them, what ultimately happens is that they release them at prices that are $20, $30, $40 above what the silver price is going for at that point. To give you an example, there's a lot of these companies that are releasing their new coins at anywhere from $125 or $128 an ounce, upwards of $150 an ounce. And this isn't just happening in the United States, this is happening all over the world. I think the Perth mint is one of the higher mints right now, the one in Australia. The U.S. Mint is releasing theirs at 127, I believe it is. And Perth, I think, is in the 130s or the 140s for the new releases of their, and these are the 1 ounce coins. And so that is the price. We are seeing that the war in Iran, or the stoppage of the Ayatollah and his organizations, is in its second week, and it looks as though they pretty well do not have a whole lot left to fight with. Their missile launchers are all being destroyed. Their Navy has been completely destroyed. The Air Force, everything is completely gone. They do not have the ability to release their drones like they did. There was hundreds of drones going up every day, as well as missiles. And now all of a sudden, they're only able to drop a fraction. I think yesterday they were able to launch about 15 missiles, and that was it. Um, I don't remember what the drone number was, but it was way down from the 300 or 400 that they had released in the first day that the bombs started falling on the Iranian military and on the Iranian government. They are making sure that Iran will not be able to fund the terrorist organizations anymore. They're making sure that they will not be able to attack their neighbors anymore. And they are also making sure that they will not be able to control the Straits of Hormuz anymore. So that's going to be very good for the world. It's going to allow for the oil to go through the straits, and it's going to make sure that all of the countries are going to be able to benefit. That is one of the things that President Trump wants to do, is to put every nation on an even playing field. So one of the ways to do that is by making sure that petroleum is able to go through the Straits of Hormuz. And that will be a great thing. Now, China is having a very difficult time economically. As I said earlier, one of their big banks has gone down within the last week. And it does look like they are in somewhat dire straits. Everything is going wrong, including their housing market. In fact, the real estate market as a whole is really devastated over there. We have a lot of nations right now that are bleeding economically, and we need to get all of these nations that have been doing these kinds of rogue things, such as supporting terrorist organizations. We need to get the cartels under control, and it looks like we've gone a long way toward that, knocking out a few hundred of the leaders of those cartels. And we need to get the nations such as Cuba and so on under control as well. Getting Venezuela under control and getting Cuba under control is probably the best way to keep the United States from being attacked. Unfortunately, once Venezuela went down, a lot of the funding that went to Cuba has also gone down. And so it looks as though Marco Rubio is going to be going to Cuba here in a few days or maybe a couple of weeks, and going to be helping out there to set up a new government. So that's going to be good for the people there. They're no longer going to be under that iron fist rule that they've been living under, because Castro has been really quite a severe leader. Unfortunately, Cuba doesn't have any food supply. They do not have much of any type of supply, and they're going to really be hurting. And so we need to be praying for that nation, asking God to help those people as they are going through this transition. And the United States is going to be making some moves to try to help Cuba to be able to get through until everything is reorganized. So let's pray for President Trump that he makes the right moves that will help the people in Cuba. This is Kevin from Good Day, Good Prayers, and you folks have a good day.